Yufita Fitri and my student number is 25081010126. I am a student from the English language class G600 UPN Veteran Jawa Timur. Today, I will be presenting a critical review of a film that is profoundly heartbreaking and, in my opinion, essential viewing, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. The film was released in 2008 and was both directed and written by Mark Herman, based on a novel by John Boyne. The historical war drama briefly followed 8-year-old Bruno, the son of a Nazi commandant who moved to a remote house next to a concentration camp. Unaware of the horror next door, Bruno formed a secret friendship with Shumel, a boy his age confined within the fence. It is a tale of innocence lost and the devastating consequence of hate. This movie falls primarily under the historical drama and war genres. It did receive a notable Goya Award nomination for the Best European Film, cementing its status as a significant piece of European cinema. I found the storyline to be simple, yet incredibly impactful, with its tragic originality stemming from its naive perspective. The plot isn't about the logistics of war. It is about the slow erosion of a child-sheltered world. The pacing in the first half is deliberately slow, and I believe this is crucial. This slow burn allows us to fully experience Bruno's frustration and isolation, which make his eventual decision to explore and find friendship utterly believable. The pace drastically accelerates in the final act, leading to a climax that is both shocking and sadly inevitable. The most memorable scene for me is the moment where Bruno and Shumel first met at the fence. It is quite hesitant and pure introduction that beautifully set up the entire tragedy. The most painful plot twist, or rather the moment of ultimate realization, is the final sequence where Bruno's parents find his clothes outside the fence. That confirms the horrific truth that we as the audience have known all along, turning passive anxiety into active, gut-wrenching horror. Bruno is the central character, and his development is tragic. This can from pampered ignorance to a feeling of fatal empathy. His innocence is his shield, but ultimately it is undoing. Shumel, in contrast, appears wise beyond his years, having lived through constant fear and hunger. His quiet dignity and resignation are truly heartbreaking. The performances were outstanding. Asa Butterfield as Bruno captured the boy's curiosity and frustration perfectly, making his ignorance feel genuine rather than annoying. Jack Scanlon or Shumel delivered a subtle yet powerful performance, conveying suffering without a complaint. However, the standout performance for me is Vera Farmiga as a Bruno's mother. We watch her evolve from an obviously commandant wife into a figure of pure dread, and she slowly realized that nature of her husband's work, her silent despair is one of the most critical and impactful elements of the film. And then the director, Mark Herman's vision is executed with masterful control. He chose to minimize overt gore, focusing instead on the emotional and psychological toll. The visual is separation defense is the most important element of his direction. And the cinematography by Benoit Delhomme is vital. Early scenes in Berlin are warm, but the new house is shot using distorted, cold, and harsh colors. This change in aesthetic immediately established a feeling of dread. The camera often used low angle shots of Bruno to emphasize his smallness and his limited understanding. The wide, desolated shot of the fence and the empty fields are haunting, creating a claustrophobic feeling despite the open space. This is an innovative technique using isolation to create a feeling of being trapped. Sound and music. The movie soundtrack, composed by James Horner, acts as powerful character. Horner avoidly overly dramatic war music. Instead, the score is dominated by somber strings and piano, creating a pervasive sense of melancholy and foreboding. The music effectively mirrored the mounting tension and the mother's quiet despair. The use of sound effect is deliberately restrained, simple, sounds like distant train, and the wind enchants the atmosphere of isolation. The true genius lies in the silence. The climax is marked by a deep, terrifying quiet broken only by a muffled sound, which makes the final event eventually more chilling than any loud music could achieve. The score perfectly complements the tragedy. And then the film's central themes are devastating: the loss of innocence, the destructive nature of prejudice, and the reality of moral complicity. These themes are conveyed very effectively through the plot and character. Bruno's simple-mindedness highlights the absurdity of prejudice. He sees Schummel just as a boy, not a label. The themes are most powerful in the visual. The stark contrast between the two boys separated by the wire fence is the movie's primary visual metaphor for the world division. My interpretation of the deeper meaning is that the film serves as a powerful cautionary tale against systematic ignorance. It suggests that when a society chooses to turn a blind, or represented by Bruno's mother and Bruno himself, the innocent and are inevitably consumed by the authority. The ending feels like a karmic consequence. The command system ultimately destroys what he loved the most. Overall, my impression of The Boy in the Striped Pajamas is that it is a masterpiece of emotional devastating, and what I liked the most was the film's commitment to the child point of view and Farrah Fawcett incredibly performance. But what I dislike is the occasional plot convince. Some critics argued the ending relies on a massive coincidence. However, the emotional impact overcomes this minor flaw. I strongly recommend this movie, but with a warning. This film is essentially viewing for anyone studying history or morality or cinematic drama, but it is not a casual watch. It is a powerful, difficult, and necessary film that forces the viewer to confront the true cause of hate. And then to summarize my key point, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas is a visual stark and emotionally gripping historical drama. Its strength lies in its powerful acting, haunting score, and courageous commitment to its tragic theme. The film's lasting impression is a chilling reminder of the fragility of innocence in the face of absolute evil. It is a film that stays with you long after the credits roll. My final rating for The Boy in the Striped Pajamas is 9 out of 10 points. Thank you.